Have you ever noticed how exhausting it is to hold your breath, waiting for someone else to finally tell you that you are enough? There is a strange, silent agony in pausing your entire life, hoping that one specific person will suddenly see your value and offer you the validation you have been craving. If you have ever felt stuck, anxious, emotionally exhausted, or entirely invisible because you are waiting for someone to confirm that you matter, this is for you. Stay until the end, because the final lesson may change the way you see this pain forever. 1. The trap of the waiting room. Here is the truth few people want to face. The longer you wait for someone to confirm your worth, the more of yourself you lose in the silence. The tighter you hold on to the hope that they will change their mind or finally see you, the more you suffer. Think about how much of your daily energy is consumed by this waiting. You check your phone, your heart racing, hoping for a message. You replay past conversations in your head, analyzing every word, searching for a tiny sign that they care. You try to be perfect, accommodating, and easy to love, adjusting your personality to fit whatever you think they want. Slowly, without even realizing it, you stop living your own life. You set up camp in a kind of emotional waiting room. You tie your deep sense of peace to their reaction, their attention, and their approval. And when that approval does not come, you do not just feel disappointed. You feel entirely erased. Buddhist wisdom teaches us a difficult but liberating truth about this pain. The suffering you are experiencing does not actually come from the other person's distance or their silence. It comes from your attachment to them being the source of your worth. In Buddhist thought, when we cling to a specific condition, like needing someone to validate us before we can feel at peace, we hand over the keys to our own mind. We become prisoners, not of the other person, but of our own intense craving for them to make us feel whole. Imagine a beautiful sprawling house. It has many warm rooms, large windows letting in the morning light, and a wide open door leading out to a vibrant, living garden. But instead of exploring this magnificent house, you pull up a small, uncomfortable chair in the narrow front hallway. You sit down, fold your hands, and stare at the front door, waiting for one specific guest to arrive. The sun rises and sets. The garden blooms outside. The house is full of unexplored beauty. But you do not notice any of it. You are entirely focused on the brass door handle, praying it will turn. This is exactly what happens in our modern lives when we anchor our worth to one person. It happens when we wait for a distant partner to finally commit, when we wait for an emotionally unavailable parent to say they are proud, when we wait for a friend to finally apologize. We stop engaging with our own world. We withdraw from the beauty, the other meaningful connections, and the quiet joys right in front of us. We let the house of our life gather dust because we are too busy guarding the door. Ask yourself, how long have you been sitting in that hard chair? What parts of your life, your joy, and your spirit have you put on pause? While waiting for an answer that may never arrive, pause, breathe, feel your breath moving through your body. Observe the heavy feeling of waiting, but do not let it define you. You do not have to keep staring at the handle. You are allowed to stand up. Because peace is not found in someone finally giving you the answer you so desperately want. Peace is found when you realize you never needed to ask the question in the first place. But stepping away from that door forces us to confront a deeper, more uncomfortable illusion. 2. The illusion of the perfect mirror. What if the reflection you are seeking from this person is not a true image of who you are, but only a shadow of your own longing? Here is a truth that is incredibly difficult to accept when your heart is hurting. You are not actually waiting for them. You are waiting for the feeling they give you. We often look to specific people to act as mirrors for our worth. We tell ourselves, if they love me, I am lovable. If they choose me, I have value. If they finally pay attention, I am no longer invisible. We turn another human being into the sole judge of our reality, and when they pull away, when they become distant, or when they simply fail to give us the warmth we need, we feel as though our mirror has shattered. We look at the broken pieces, and we believe that we are the ones who are broken. Buddhist wisdom offers a profound shift in how we view this dynamic. One of the deepest lessons of Buddhism is the reality of impermanence. Everything in this world is constantly changing, including people, people's minds, their capacity to love, their fears, and their availability are always shifting, flowing like a river. When we demand that an ever-changing, impermanent person serve as a permanent, flawless mirror for our self-worth, we guarantee our own suffering. We are asking a passing cloud to act as a solid foundation. Imagine standing by the edge of a deep lake on a completely still, quiet night. The water is perfectly flat, like dark glass. You lean over and see a clear, beautiful reflection of your own face. You feel a sense of peace. But then, the wind picks up. A sudden storm rolls in. The water becomes rough, turbulent, and chaotic. Your reflection instantly becomes distorted, twisted, and unrecognizable in the crashing waves. Now, if you believe that you are the reflection in the water, you will panic. You will think you are breaking apart. You will desperately try to smooth the water with your bare hands, fighting the waves, trying to force the image to be still again. We do exactly this in our relationships. We tie our deep sense of value to a text message that takes too long to arrive. We anchor our peace to the unpredictable moods of a partner, a parent, or a friend. When they are stressed, distracted, or simply incapable of deep connection, their water becomes choppy. We see a cold or distorted reflection, and we instantly assume there is something deeply wrong with us. We forget that the distortion is in the water, not in the person standing safely on the shore. Think about your own life. Have you been relying on a turbulent lake to show you your true face? Are you letting someone else's inability to see your worth convince you that your worth does not exist? What are you afraid will happen if you simply stop looking at the water? Pause. Breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Observe the thought that you need them to reflect your value, and simply let it pass. You do not have to fight the waves. You only have to remember who you are without them, because true peace is not found by forcing the lake to be still. It is found when you realize you never needed the reflection to begin with. But when that mirror fails us and we feel entirely unseen, a quiet tragedy often occurs. We do not just step back from the water, we step back from the world entirely. 3. Why we withdraw when we feel unseen. What if the most dangerous part of being ignored is not that they stop seeing you, but that you decide to stop letting the rest of the world see you too? Here is a truth that is deeply uncomfortable, yet entirely common, when we are carrying the weight of rejection. When the one person whose validation we crave fails to acknowledge us, we rarely just mourn the loss of their attention. Instead, we generalize the pain. We pull back from everything. Think about how this emotional habit takes over your days. You feel the sting of their silence, and suddenly, the entire world feels cold. You stop reaching out to the friends who actually check on you. You cancel plans. You lose interest in the hobbies and passions that used to light you up. You retreat into your room, mute your phone, and build a quiet fortress of isolation. You convince yourself that if this one specific person does not value you, perhaps you have no value to offer anyone at all. You withdraw from life, believing that hiding will protect you from the sharp ache of being unseen again. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that this reaction, while deeply human, is a profound form of self-harm. In Buddhist thought, this withdrawal is driven by aversion. We are not just trying to avoid the pain of rejection, we are actively turning our backs on the present moment because it did not unfold exactly as we desired. By closing our hearts to avoid further suffering, We accidentally close our hearts to joy, connection, and peace. We allow the unconscious actions of one impermanent being to shut down our entire relationship with life itself. Imagine a beautiful, sprawling tree standing in the middle of a vast, vibrant forest. One afternoon, a single dense cloud moves directly overhead, casting a cold, dark shadow over this one tree. The tree feels the sudden drop in temperature, but instead of waiting for the wind to blow the cloud away, the tree decides that the sun must be gone forever. It tightly curls its leaves inward. It draws its sap deep down into its roots. It hardens its bark and completely shuts down its own growth. It ignores the warm sunlight, illuminating the grass just a few feet away. It ignores the rain, the soil, and the birds singing in the nearby branches. It starves itself in the dark, all because one passing cloud temporarily blocked the light. We do this exact same thing in our daily lives. We let one unanswered text or one indifferent interaction ruin an entire weekend. We sit on the couch in silence, staring at a screen, feeling disconnected from everyone around us, punishing the present moment because of an expectation that was not met. We ignore the sunlight of genuine friendships, simple pleasures, and quiet moments of peace, simply because the one person we wanted to see us is looking the other way. Ask yourself, are you starving your own roots because one cloud has cast a shadow? Have you closed the door to the entire world just because one specific person forgot to knock? Is this isolation bringing you safety, or is it only feeding your loneliness? Pause, breathe, notice the heavy urge to hide, and simply observe it without judgment. Let the feeling of wanting to withdraw rise, but do not make it your permanent home. You do not have to close yourself off to be safe, because true safety is not found in hiding from the world. It is found in realizing that you belong to the world, regardless of who notices. But stepping back into the light means we must first let go of the heavy question we have been desperately trying to answer. And this is where the next truth begins. 4. The suffering of clinging to an answer. What if the harder you try to understand their silence, the further peace moves away? Here is a truth that is incredibly difficult to face when your heart is aching for closure. We often believe that our pain comes from not knowing why someone pulled away, but the deepest suffering actually comes from our absolute refusal to let the question remain unanswered. Think about how much time you spend trying to solve the mystery of another human being. When we feel unseen or ignored, our minds go to war. We replay conversations, searching for the exact moment we made a mistake. We analyze a brief, cold text message as if it holds the secret to our worth. We sit up late into the night, crafting long paragraphs in our minds, hoping that if we just explain our feelings perfectly, they will finally understand and give us the clarity we crave. We convince ourselves that if we just knew why, the pain would instantly stop. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that this desperate need for an answer is simply another form of clinging. We believe that certainty will bring us peace, but Buddhism reminds us that attachment causes suffering, and right now, you are fiercely attached to an explanation. You are demanding that a complex, imperfect, and impermanent world provide you with a neat, logical conclusion. But letting go does not mean you finally get the apology or the clarity you deserve. It means accepting that the present moment is exactly as it is, even if it is painfully unresolved. Imagine standing at the end of a long, dark hallway facing a heavy, locked door. You know, there is a warm, open world behind you, but you refuse to turn around. Instead, you spend all your time rattling the doorknob. You search your pockets for a key that does not exist. You throw your weight against the solid wood until you are bruised, angry, and completely exhausted. The door remains firmly locked, but you stay there, stubbornly convinced that your life cannot continue until someone on the other side finally turns the lock and lets you in. This is what happens when we refuse to accept someone's silence as an answer. We rattle the doorknob by checking their social media for tiny clues. We try to force the lock by sending just one more message, hoping this time they will suddenly change. We exhaust ourselves trying to make sense of someone who simply does not have the capacity or the desire to meet us where we are. We think we are fighting for closure, but we are actually just choosing to remain trapped in a dark hallway. Ask yourself, are you trying to force a door that is clearly locked? What are you afraid will happen if you simply stop rattling the handle? Is this endless overthinking bringing you peace, or is it only feeding your fear? Pause. Breathe. Observe the thought without following it. Let the feeling of wanting an answer rise without making it your identity. Stop trying to force the door open. Do your part, then release the outcome. Because peace is not something you extract from another person. It is something you make space for when you finally let the unanswerable questions be. But letting go of their answer is only the first step. To truly find freedom, we must stop trying to prove our worth to them entirely. And this is where the next truth begins. 5. Dropping the heavy burden of proof. What if the heaviest weight you carry is not the pain of their distance, but the exhausting, relentless effort of trying to prove you are worthy of their attention? Here is the truth few people want to face. You are treating your own life like a courtroom, and you are constantly putting yourself on the witness stand. Think about the invisible performance you put on every day. When we feel unseen by someone who matters to us, we often launch into a silent, desperate campaign to prove them wrong. You might overachieve at work, hoping the success will make you undeniable. You might craft the perfect social media post, waiting to see if their name appears on the list of people who viewed it. You twist yourself into a perfect, accommodating partner or friend, always saying yes, always swallowing your own needs, just to show how valuable you are to have around. You carry your accomplishments, your sacrifices, and your quiet suffering like a resume, constantly handing it to someone who is not even looking at you. You believe that if you just present the perfect evidence, their verdict will finally change. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that this desperate need to prove ourselves is rooted in a deep, painful illusion. In Buddhist thought, the ego constantly seeks external validation to solidify its own existence. It creates the false belief that our worth must be earned, defended, and acknowledged by the outside world. But true liberation comes from non-attachment. This does not just mean letting go of the person who ignored you. It means letting go of the exhausting, heavy need to be validated by them. Your worth is not a debate to be won. Imagine carrying a heavy, rough stone in your bare hands everywhere you go. Your arms are trembling, your shoulders ache with the constant strain. Every time you see the person you want to impress, you lift the heavy stone up to their face and ask, "Look at this. Please tell me this is valuable." Sometimes they glance at it. Often they look right past you. But you never put the stone down. You are terrified that if you drop the stone, you will cease to matter. You have been carrying it for so long that you have forgotten a simple truth. You are not the heavy stone. You are the one carrying it. We do exactly this in our relationships and our daily lives. We carry the burden of trying to prove we are smart enough, attractive enough, or simply good enough. We hold this heavy burden up to the people who are ignoring us, begging them to notice the weight. We exhaust our minds and our spirits, forgetting that our suffering is not actually coming from their refusal to look. The suffering is coming from our own refusal to simply drop the stone. Ask yourself, how long have you been carrying the heavy burden of proof? Who are you still secretly trying to convince? What are you afraid will happen if you simply stop arguing for your own right to be loved? Pause. Breathe. Feel the tension in your own body. Observe the desperate urge to be validated without letting it control you. You do not have to perform anymore. Stop trying to prove your existence. Let the heavy stone fall to the ground, because true peace is not found by finally winning the argument of your worth. It is found when you walk out of the courtroom entirely. But leaving that heavy burden behind forces us to finally look at the one person we have been avoiding the most. And this is where the next truth begins. 6. Making peace with your imperfect self. What if the person you have been running from this entire time is not the one who ignored you, but the one you see in the mirror? Here is a difficult truth to face when you feel unloved. When someone walks away or turns a blind eye to our worth, we rarely just mourn the loss of their presence. Instead, we turn the weapon inward. Think about how quickly you abandon your own side when someone else ignores you. You stand in front of the mirror and pick apart your own reflection. You dissect your personality, your appearance, and your quiet habits. You replay your moments of vulnerability and cringe, convinced that you were too much or perhaps not enough. You tell yourself that if you were just a little stronger, a little more successful, or a little less broken, they would have finally noticed you. You begin to despise your own imperfections, falsely believing that they are the reason you are sitting in the dark alone. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that this harsh inner judgment is a profound source of suffering. In Buddhist thought, there is a deep understanding that nothing in this world is flawless. Everything, every mountain, every river, every human heart is marked by the reality of imperfection. When we demand absolute perfection from ourselves in order to feel worthy of love, we are fighting the very nature of existence itself. Buddhism reminds us of the practice of loving kindness, which must always begin within. It means learning to meet your own rough edges, your own fears, and your own awkwardness without turning away in disgust. Imagine an ancient tree standing on the edge of a high cliff. Over the decades, it has endured freezing winters, fierce winds, and violent storms. Its bark is deeply scarred. Its trunk leans heavily to one side. Some of its branches are twisted, and others have broken off entirely in the wind. Yet, when you look at this tree, you do not call it defective. You do not demand that its branches be perfectly straight or its bark completely smooth. You see its scars as a testament to its survival. You recognize that the storms did not ruin the tree, they shaped it. Its wild, imperfect shape is exactly what makes it beautiful. But in our modern lives, we treat ourselves with no such grace. We look at our emotional scars, our moments of anxiety, our failures, and our insecurities, and we label them as unforgivable defects. We try to hide the twisted branches of our personality when we meet new people. We believe we must prune ourselves into a perfectly polished, flawless statue before anyone will ever want to sit in our shade. We forget that our imperfections are not a reason to be abandoned. They are not a sign that you are unlovable. They are simply evidence that you have lived, struggled, and bravely survived the weather of your own life. Ask yourself, are you rejecting the tree of your own life just because it has a few broken branches? How long have you been punishing yourself for simply being human? Is this relentless self-criticism bringing you peace, or is it only feeding your shame? Pause, breathe, place a quiet hand over your own heart. Notice the heavy urge to criticize yourself and simply observe it without agreeing with it. Let the feeling rise, but do not make it your truth. You do not need to be flawless to be completely whole, because true healing is not about fixing every broken piece of yourself until you are perfect. It is about learning to sit quietly with your imperfections without looking away. But once you begin to make peace with the person in the mirror, you must eventually unlock the door you closed so long ago. And this is where the next truth begins. 7. Opening the door to the world again. What if the quiet safety you have built for yourself is actually just a different kind of cage? Here is the truth about hiding away. The longer you isolate yourself to avoid being hurt, the more you starve yourself of the very connection that can heal you. When you have spent so much time waiting for someone to see your worth, and then finally realize you must stop waiting, the immediate reaction is often to shut everything down. You stay inside your carefully constructed daily routines. You talk to fewer people. You avoid taking any emotional risks in your friendships, your passions, or your life. You tell yourself, if I do not put myself out there, I cannot be ignored. If I expect nothing, I cannot be disappointed. You begin to confuse numbness with peace. You think you have found tranquility, but you have actually just stopped living. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that pushing the world away is not the path to true freedom. In Buddhist thought, while clinging to people causes suffering, total withdrawal from life is simply another trap. It is known as aversion. When we push away the possibility of connection because we are terrified of the pain, we are still letting fear control our actions. True non-attachment does not mean abandoning the world. It means engaging with the world fully, loving openly, and participating in the beauty of life, without demanding that the world behave exactly as you want it to. It is the willingness to let the wind blow through your life without trying to catch it. Imagine a small bird that was once caught in a fierce, terrifying storm. The wind was harsh, and the rain was relentless. To survive, the bird flew into a sturdy iron cage. The cage was safe. The cage was quiet. The storm raged outside, but the bird was protected. But now, months have passed. The storm ended a long time ago. The sky is a brilliant, clear blue, and the door to the cage is wide open. Yet, the bird refuses to leave. It hops around the tiny, cramped space, staring out at the trees, convinced that the open sky is nothing but danger. It has been safe for so long that it has forgotten what it feels like to fly. We do this exact same thing in our own lives. We build invisible cages out of our silence, our routines, and our emotional walls. We stopped reaching out because someone once ignored us. We stopped sharing our true thoughts because we were afraid of being misunderstood. We sit in our safe, quiet rooms, watching the world move forward through a window, completely forgetting that the storm that hurt us has already passed. We think we are protecting our hearts, but we are actually just trapping our spirits. Ask yourself, are you still hiding from a storm that ended long ago? Have you confused safety with isolation? Is this quiet distance truly bringing you peace, or are you just sitting silently in an open cage? What are you afraid will happen if you finally step outside? Pause, breathe. Notice the fear of stepping back into the world, but do not let it command you. You do not have to fly across the ocean today. You only need to step to the edge of the cage. Let the light hit your face, because true peace is not the absence of the world. It is the courage to stand in the middle of it, without losing yourself. But stepping outside requires you to find safety not in walls, but in your own steadfast spirit. And this is where the next truth begins. 8. The power of being your own refuge. What if the safest place in the entire world is not in the arms of another person, but within the quiet, steady space of your own mind? Here is a truth that changes everything when you finally embrace it. You have been searching for a home outside of yourself. Think about how much of your life is spent looking for a sanctuary in other people. We want someone else to make us feel secure. We want their consistent messages, their physical presence, and their unwavering attention to act as a shield against our own anxiety. We build the foundation of our peace on their shifting moods. And when they become distant, or when they walk away completely, we do not just feel sad. We feel emotionally homeless. We feel as though the ground has collapsed beneath our feet because we built our house on their land. Buddhist wisdom teaches us the profound importance of becoming your own refuge. In Buddhist thought, relying on the external world, for inner stability is a guaranteed path to suffering, because the external world is always changing. Buddhism reminds us that you must become an island unto yourself. This does not mean you stop loving people or stop sharing your life. It means you stop asking other impermanent beings to be your permanent source of safety. You learn to cultivate a quiet, unshakable sanctuary within your own heart, a place where you are always deeply, unconditionally welcome. Imagine walking through a dense, dark forest at night with a companion. The path is rough and difficult to see. Your companion is holding a bright, burning lantern. As long as they walk beside you, you feel completely safe. You can see the roots on the ground and the branches ahead. But suddenly, your companion turns down a different path. They walk away, taking the lantern with them. Instantly, you are plunged into complete darkness. You panic, you stumble, you stand frozen in the cold, begging them to come back so you can see. You are so terrified of the dark that you completely forget a simple truth. Inside your own pocket, you have always carried your own candle and a match. You were just too distracted by their light to strike it. We do this constantly in our modern lives. We rely on the glow of a partner's affection, a friend's approval, or the validation of our peers to light our way. When they withdraw their light, we freeze in the dark. We panic over a subtle change in their tone of voice. We stumble through our days, feeling lost and unable to move forward, waiting for them to return with their lantern. We forget that we have the absolute power to light our own way. We forget that we can generate our own calm, our own validation, and our own profound sense of worth, regardless of who is walking beside us. Ask yourself, whose light have you been relying on to navigate your own life? Are you terrified of the dark simply because you forgot you carry your own flame? What would happen if you finally decided to strike the match yourself? Pause, breathe. Place your attention completely on the quiet stillness in your own chest. Observe the fear of being alone, but do not let it overpower you. You are not empty. You do not have to chase their light. You have always carried your own, because true peace is not finding someone who promises to never turn their lantern away. It is realizing you never needed them to illuminate your worth to begin with. But once you discover that you can be your own refuge, a beautiful thing happens. You no longer need to hide from the dark, which means you are finally ready to return to the world. And this is where the final truth begins. 9. Stepping back into the river of life. Think back to where we began. Remember the quiet agony of the waiting room, the heavy, exhausting burden of staring at a locked door, hoping that one specific person would finally turn the handle and tell you that you mattered. For so long, you believed that your life was on pause, that the story could not move forward until they gave you permission to exist. But here is the truth. The story has been happening around you this entire time. When you finally stop waiting for their validation, you do not lose yourself. You actually find the parts of yourself you abandoned along the way. You realize that you no longer need to carry the heavy stone of trying to prove your worth. You no longer need to fight the crashing waves to find a perfect reflection. You no longer need to sit in the cramped, quiet safety of an open cage, hiding your beautifully imperfect branches from the world. You are allowed to take your own light and simply walk out the front door. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that life is like a wide, powerful river flowing inevitably toward the ocean. For months, perhaps even years, you have been standing perfectly still on the riverbank. You refused to step into the water because you were waiting for one specific person to arrive and build a bridge for you. You watched the leaves float by, you felt the cool breeze, but you stayed firmly planted on the dry, hard earth, holding your breath. But the river of life does not pause. It continues to flow. And the deepest peace you will ever experience comes in the moment you finally stop waiting on the bank and courageously step back into the water. Stepping back into the river means accepting that you cannot control how other people see you. It means understanding that their silence is not a reflection of your value. It means trusting that you can meet your imperfect, scarred self with profound kindness without needing anyone else to validate your existence. You do not have to chase what is already leaving. You do not have to perform for an empty courtroom. Imagine what your days will look like when you finally let go. Think about the quiet energy that will return to your body when you stop replaying old conversations. Think about the genuine joy you will find when you finally engage with the friends who actually see you, the quiet passions that light you up, and the simple moments of daily beauty you have been ignoring. The world is so much bigger than the one person who failed to understand you. Ask yourself, are you finally ready to leave the waiting room? Are you ready to let the river carry you forward, knowing that you have the strength to swim? Pause. Breathe. Let the heavy weight of their opinion fall completely away from your shoulders. You do not need to prove anything anymore. Your worth is not a question that needs answering. You are allowed to return to your own life. If these lessons touched your heart, share this video with someone who may need a little more peace today. You can let go now.